Let's go to the wonderful city of Mt Gambier in the southeast of South Australia now, where we're joined by the Mayor, Lynette Martin. Thanks for joining us, Lynette. It seems ridiculous that a city of 25,000 people, 500 kilometres away from Adelaide, should have been locked down in this way. It's obvious now that this is a drastic overreaction. What damage has it caused in Mt Gambier?
Well, Chris, let me say that throughout the whole pandemic, though, we have followed the instructions of, the federal, state and governments and the health and SAPOL. And so we were happy to follow the latest directions. And yes, it does seem an overreaction, but given that we are some 450 kilometres from Adelaide, but you just never know when somebody could land here and expose us, because we've had a really good outcome from the pandemic. We only had 3 positive cases in the early stages, and the communities seem very happy to be compliant.
Well, that's the right thing. Everybody wants to do the right thing, of course. Nobody wants to buck the rules, but here's a case where you're so far away from Adelaide, you haven't had any positive infections, as you say, in the area for many, many months, yet businesses have had to shut down. I know all the bakeries in Mt Gambier today shut down. Cafes and restaurants have to throw out food. It costs them money. It costs people employment. It just, they shouldn't be so trigger-happy, should they, in the capital city to impose this on you.
Well, I do agree with you that it has come at an economic cost to business, because, as you just explained, people did have to throw away good food, and businesses, retail have had to close, of course, and coming into Christmas, and in particular the hospitality industry just getting back on their feet from the closure before, it's pretty devastating for them. But thankfully, we're just going to be 3 days into it, and we will be back into a better space.
What about the decisions taken on the border on the back of all this? Victoria closed off the South Australian border from their side. Of course, the South Australian border is still closed to Victoria and the other way. That's very inconvenient for a lot of people living in your area, but it must also play havoc with tourism and people who might want to pop across the border and spend a night in a hotel, go to the Blue Lake, all that sort of thing.
It certainly does, Chris, and the cross-border community, they're a very important part of the community of Mt Gambier, because many of those residents, they work in Mt Gambier, they go to school in Mt Gambier, access their health services, and they shop and go about their daily business. And they certainly do form an important part of our economic and social fabric. And when you look to the broader Victoria, yes, certainly we do rely on a lot of tourism from the east, and so that has made it difficult for businesses in Mt Gambier during the pandemic.